Well, so here I am driving the Kia Sonet diesel now, and this is no ordinary diesel that I'm driving today. This is the automatic version of the car, and this is a very big selling point for this Sonet. It's a unique selling point, USP of the car, because this is the only torque converter automatic available on a diesel version. Yes, can you think of any other car in the diesel version in the compact SUV space which comes with an automatic? Well, even I can't, because there isn't any other car which comes with this kind of Gearbox, and of course it's a 1.5 liter diesel engine. It's the same engine which is found on the Seltos. Now, if you've driven the Seltos before and you've driven the automatic version, this car will give you a sense of deja vu, and I mean that in a nice way, because just like the Seltos, this car's steering wheel offers you very good communication, very good feedback. Normally, people don't associate compact SUVs, or SUVs for that matter, with sporty handling or agile handling, but it's different with the Sonet. The engineers at Kia have done a good job with the chassis tuning, the suspension tuning, and the overall steering wheel, because it's a very responsive, very accurate steering wheel. The chassis also is very dynamic, and this car changes directions as quickly as you want it to, and it doesn't feel lazy, in fact, in terms of the chassis as well. So that's something which is very unique to the Sonet, and I reckon that in terms of the driving pleasure, this car is at par with the Ford EcoSport, or just very close to that car, because the Ford EcoSport diesel is the benchmark in the diesel compact segment for sheer driving pleasure, and this car comes very close to that car, which is in itself a big feat, because it is of course better in terms of features, it's better in terms of quality, and I reckon it's better in terms of looks as well, because it's a newer car, so it has to be better in terms of the looks. So that's a big feat from the house of Kia, that they've managed to come very close to the Ford EcoSport diesel in terms of the overall driving pleasure. Now, the steering wheel on this car, I think, is a little more heavier than the one on the petrol version that we've driven before, and the reason for that, of course, is that this car has more weight in the front tires, on the front tires, rather the front axle. So that is, of course, there. It's true of all other diesel cars when you compare them with the petrol version of their cars or their siblings. But that said, it's not overtly heavy that you start feeling very tired at the end of a long day. It's got a good amount of feedback, and it's very accurate as well. Now, what you will like, of course, is the refinement from the diesel engine. When you're standing at a signal and the engine is turned on, sometimes you'll just be pressing the start-stop button here, because you might be thinking the engine is off. So that's something that you'll do. I'm not exaggerating. It really is a very good engine in terms of refinement. It's also good in terms of fuel efficiency. The claim figures are quite impressive. So that is something which we've already seen and tried to test it, of course, with the Seltos, and also seen on the Hyundai range of cars, because it is, at the end of the day, the same 1.5 which is also on the Creta as well as the Venue. In terms of overall ride comfort, the suspension setting is slightly on the firmer side on the Sonet. So on the highway, that's a good thing, because you feel very stable, very reassuring. But on city roads, some of those badly patched up roads and some of those bad speed breakers might filter into the camera. So that's something which you have to just be careful of. You just have to slow down a bit. Not that it's overtly uncomfortable, it's just that sometimes you just have to slow down a bit when you see that badly made up rumble strip, but it's nothing which is a deal breaker. Now, this engine in terms of responsiveness is quite good. It starts responding from a relatively low RPM. So let's say that you're driving this car in the city and doing about 1600, 1700 RPM on the ref counter here, and after that it starts feeling very nice and responsive. So unlike a lot of other diesels where you have to rev them up to 2000 RPM and then they get going, this one is quite good. The gearbox also is very good and very well gelled with the engine, and it does mask the little bit of laziness that the engine has, because the gearbox is very good. You will never know also when the gears are changing. It's so good. It's only when you really push the right pedal down and you want a quick acceleration move that you will notice, maybe that second or two, and then of course you get going. So that's the only time you might notice the gearbox change. But other than that, if you're driving in a nice and reasonable and sensible manner, then you won't notice when the gears are going up or coming down. It really is a smooth and efficient gearbox in that manner. And what you'd also like about this car, of course, is the fact that it's feature loaded. If you want to check out my video review of the features, the quality, as well as the space in the back, you can click on the link in the description box below, and of course I'll put all the links of this car over there. So what do you think of the Kia Sonet diesel? I reckon it's one of the best deals out there. If you drive a lot, if you drive about 15,000, 16,000 kilometers on a regular basis every year, maybe a little more than that, then this is a great package for you. It's hassle-free to drive, it's easy to drive, it doesn't tire you out, it's involving to drive because the steering wheel is so good, and it really is a phenomenal package overall. I'll get a strong score of 91 out of 100 in the driving department, and I reckon that Kia has done a great job with this offering and definitely deserves a double thumbs up. Bye now.